Welcome everyone again to the 2021 Earth Day celebration at the Westland Recycling Center. Thank you everyone for being here today. I would first like to thank our Department of Public Service for everything they did to help get this event set up. I would also like to thank Homestead Kitchen for providing the cookies for today's event. Today the City of Westland will be awarding 4 eco-friendly awards provided by Great Lakes Trophies for their continuing efforts to provide a greener and environmentally friendly atmosphere for everyone in the Westland community. Before we continue, I would like to recognize the dignitaries in attendance today. And after I read everybody's names, we'll give everybody a round of applause. Westland Mayor William R. Wild, Wayne County Executive Warren Evans, Wayne County Sheriff Raphael Washington, Wayne County Parks Director Alicia Bradford, City Clerk Richard LeBlanc, Council President James Hart, Council President Pro Tem Michael Landau, Councilman James Godbout, Councilmember Tasha Green, Councilmember Michael McDermott, Councilmember Andrea Rukowski, Deputy Mayor Michael Reddy, Police Chief Jeff Jedrzek, Wayne Westland Schools Superintendent John Dignan, Wayne Westland Schools Family and Community Development Supervisor Maria Mitter, and Westland Chamber of Commerce President Gretchen Heinecke. If we could ever give everybody a round of applause. Earth Day was created in 1970 as a national annual event to demonstrate support for environmental protection. Mayor Wild introduced Mission Green for that exact reason, to promote sustainable living while also encouraging citizens to incorporate environmental best practices into their daily lives. In February of 2021, the City of Westland rejoined the Wyland Foundation's Water Conservation Pledge with easy online action tasks that can be done at home, at work, or in the community. The Parks and Recreation Department and the Parks and Recreation Advisory Council took this pledge to be more water conscious in their everyday lives and invited residents in Westland to join this cause as well. Since joining in February, the members have saved over 2,000 gallons of water, and I am proud to say that Westland became one of the top 5 organizations to join the program. The City of Westland group has also saved over 120 plastic bottles by using reusable water bottles. It is not too late to join the efforts and join the Westland team for water conservation. If you would like to sign up, please visit wylandfoundation.ecochallenge.org to take the pledge. Thank you again to all of the residents who have joined in this important effort. And now I would like to introduce the Mayor of Westland, William R. Wild.
Thank you, Kyle. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Make sure you grab one of these cookies. These Mission Green cookies over here from one of Westland's newest small businesses. So if anybody listened to the news this morning, you probably heard that President Biden today announced that a very ambitious goal for the country of eliminating 50% of our greenhouse emissions by the end of the decade. So that means we've got 9 years to go. So for that to happen, it's going to take communities like Westland and communities all over America basically starting a brush fire of environmentally conscious things at the ground level to achieve those awards. And in Westland, we've been doing that all along, and we're probably one of the few communities that actually have an annual Earth Day celebration, and I'm glad to see that we have a lot of people here today. Thank you to our DPS guys for first of all, this was all covered with snow about 48 hours ago, so they did a great job with that and getting things ready. If you take a look at your program, and hopefully everybody got a program here, if not, we've got them over here. As part of the program, we release on an annual basis our Mission Green Sustainability Report. And when you take a look at how comprehensive our sustainability report is becoming, when we first started back, I think it was 2008, we started off with curbside recycling, but We've really have grown a long ways with our environmental efforts, and you'll see, we touch on things, of course, recycling and replacing trees and electric car charging stations, and we have electric vehicles on the way and solar panel ordinances, and the list goes on and on. I don't want to bore you with all of that stuff, but I'm going to touch base on just a couple of the things that have happened since we gathered here last year. One of the things that Westland's really been a leader on is green infrastructure investments. And if you take a look at most of our city buildings now, we've gone through most of our buildings and we've renovated with new LED lighting and a lot of other fixtures, most notably at the City Hall, which was constructed about 6 years ago. We've done a lot of work at the Senior Center, and we're doing a lot of work throughout our other buildings. It took us a few years, actually about 3 different phases, but we've actually converted 2,800 mercury vapor lights around the city. That is basically every street light in the city on all the major roads and in all the neighborhoods. It took us about 3 years. We did it in phases. We had a lot of support from the Westland City Council, and just those LED lights have saved the city about $300,000 a year in light and energy savings. Over the last couple of years, we've actually taken those savings and actually bought new lights and put them in some areas that were historically dark in town, most notably Wildwood Road, Vinoy, Newburgh, Warren, and Wayne Roads. The city's also working very hard at the economic development level to come up with new ideas to comply with stormwater ordinances, and we've approved projects by adding rain gardens, detention ponds, and other similar projects to help with water conservation, and that's been through a partnership with Wayne County's engineering department. So we appreciate their openness to these new ideas. Emerald Ash Board played havoc on communities like Wesleyan. We're a bedroom community. We lost a lot of trees, but we went right to work. In 2019, the city planted 85 trees throughout the city through a grant from the American Red Cross. We started a tree replacement program using funds that are in our tree fund. And since 2017, 356 trees have been replaced, and so far this year we already have 32 orders for the 2021 season. And the city also has several grants in the works through DTE and Consumers Energy and the Tree Grant USA Fund. So today we're here in the Recycling Center, and for those of you that utilize this place, you're going to be very happy with some of the updates we're going to announce here at the end, and we're actually going to break ground on a project here. But one of the most important things I think that happened for our community back in July of 2020 was we reinstituted the curbside recycling program. And Westland started a curbside recycling program back in 2008 where we delivered 25,000 recycling carts to every single family home in Westland, and we never looked back. And then a few years ago, the worldwide recycling market totally flipped on its head, and for a short period of time we had to suspend that program. But we reinstituted it, and our Westland residents have really taken to it. Since July, when we reinstituted it, we've already recycled 2,500 tons of material. Since the inception of the program, our Westland residents have actually recycled 51,000 tons. That's over a million pounds of trash that has been diverted from the landfill. So we take recycling pretty serious here in Westland. One of the things that Westland's going to take a lead on, and you're going to hear more and more of this as the federal money starts to flow to the states, and it's on clean drinking water. And in Westland, we're taking a lead. We've pretty much have removed all of our lead service lines throughout the city, and I'd like to be able to take credit for that. But actually, back when Bob Thomas was mayor in the city of Westland, he actually came up through the ranks in the water department here at DPS, and there was federal money available back then to remove service lines, and he was right on top of it, and the city of Westland was fortunate through his leadership to remove most of those lead service lines. So we periodically still run across one or two here and there, but we take care of them whenever we find them. But what we're going to do next is something I haven't seen any other cities do. Per the 2018 amended Michigan Safe Drinking Water Act, every community is going to be responsible for creating an inventory for every one of their houses, taking a look at identifying the materials coming into the house. And what I'm talking about is basically from the street to your house, we have to identify if you have lead or if you have galvanized. And then once you get in your house, from your meter to basically your kitchen sink, what type of materials you have. So we've started on this already. We've probably have 35% of our residents already in the database, and our plan is to have an interactive database so residents can actually look up their house and see if they're on there and help us with information. But also maybe when they go to sell their house, they'll be able to tell people that you can see my house is lead free, and maybe that'll add a few bucks in value. So what we're going to do is we have a kit that's going out in the mail. We have about 65% of our households we still need to reach, which is about 17,000 houses. We're going to mail them a kit. Ramsey's got it prepared, and we're going to have just a little tutorial in there on how you can check your house for us to see what type of materials you have on both sides of the water meter. It's going to be super simple. There's actually going to be a little Wesleyan magnet that's going to be included with the city logo on it that'll show you actually where you can stick it to see what type of materials you have. You fill out a card, you mail it back to us, and we'll get you in the database. And if residents need help with that, certainly we can have our crews come to their house to check that out. So our goal is to be the first community in Michigan to have a 100% completion of this database. We have until 2025. We're hoping to wrap that up here hopefully by the end of the year if we can. Just the last thing before we go into our awards today is the City Council just recently approved a partnership to bring electronic charging stations to the city of Westland. We currently have one in front of City Hall. It's a couple of generations old, so this new program will be replacing that one, and we'll have two electric charging stations at City Hall. There'll be one at the Senior Center, Friendship Center, and one at the library. And also, as part of my proposed budget for this year, we're looking at purchasing the city's first electric vehicle. It'll be a Ford F-150. It'll be a patrol vehicle. They'll use it for community policing, but they'll be able to use it for day-to-day operations as well. And this is through a partnership with the University of Michigan to help us offset the cost of that purchase. So as you can see, there's a lot of good things happening in Westland. We're very proud of our residents for participating with all of our environmental efforts. And one of the things we like to do is every year is recognize some folks that are helping with that as well. And we have we call it an eco-friendly award. The award itself is actually eco-friendly. It's made out of sustainable bamboo, so we're not harming the environment by making these awards. So with that, we're going to jump right into the awards. The first award is going to go to the Wayne Wesleyan Community Schools. And we're going to ask the Superintendent of Wayne Wesleyan Schools, John Dignan, to stand forward. John is the first-year superintendent in Wayne Wesleyan. He's extremely talented. We're very fortunate to have his leadership. He's the former director of post-secondary options and community partnerships for Southfield Public Schools. The Wayne Wesleyan School District currently has over 9,000 students. John's got a 25-year history in education. His passion is children and making schools the hub of the community, and we're recognizing Mr. Dignan and his staff here today for the recent purchase of a new fleet of clean energy buses, and we have one that's here today. And with that, we're going to ask Mr. Dignan, did you want to step forward and say a few words about that? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, and again, thank you for the award, Mayor Wild. Our transportation department has worked hard to become eco-friendly, and as Mayor Wild talked about, President Biden spoke about really converting in the next decade bus fleets into propane and electric. So we're very proud of our emissions. It's run by propane, and you can see by the green bird on the side of the bus which ones are propane. But again, I want to give all the credit to our transportation department for making this conversion and the people that work there. So again, thank you, Mayor Wild. We really appreciate it.
All right, Jen, on behalf of the City of Westland's Mission Green, we present this Eco Award to the Wayne Wesleyan Community School District for your clean energy bus program and in recognition of your efforts to make Westland a greener place to live, work, and play. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hey, Joanne, let's take a quick picture with the two of you, please. 3, 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thanks again, Mayor.
Yep. All right, our next award is going to go to Miss Joanne Schwab of the 3 Bs Native Plant Butterfly Garden. Miss Schwab is a 42-year Westland resident. She resides right across the street from Corrado Park, where the 3 Bs Native Plant Butterfly Garden is located. The 3 Bs Native Butterfly Garden was the first garden in Westland to receive the Homegrown National Park certification. And tell you a little bit more about the park. It's located in one of our neighborhood parks, Corrado Park. The 3 Bs Native Plant Garden is actually a 2-acre community garden. It's in the northeast corner of Corrado Park with native species of birds, butterflies, and trees. It was originally launched in 2016 in a space not much bigger than where we're standing right now, but you really have to see this thing now. It's really incredible. The garden grows strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, elderberries. It really adds to the beauty and the biodiversity of the city. It's open daily to the entire community. Ms. Schwab also hopes to be able to launch a children's garden this year where kids will be able to use all 5 senses to engage with, learn from, and walk through the garden. So, Ms. Schwab, please step forward. We have a Wesleyan Mission Green Eco Award for you, and would you like to say a few words?
Thank you, Mayor Wild. I'm surprised that you know who I am. I don't know if that's good or bad. All right. Yeah, I just am honored and humbled that I've got this award. We are environmentally friendly. I mean, we're native plants. We increase the biodiversity, and hopefully we will teach all the children and all our neighbors the importance of native plants. They say, no bees, no me. Yeah. So plant natives like your life depends on it. Okay, and thank you.
I think it's only fitting that Mrs. Schwab would have her butterfly earrings on today as we recognize the butterfly garden there. So Mrs. Schwab, on behalf of the City of Westland's Mission Green, here's your eco-friendly award. Thank you. Keep up the great work. Yep.
Oh, I'm smiling.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, our next award is going to go to the Wesleyan Police Department. We talked about how the school district is using clean energy for their fleet. The Wesleyan Police Department has been using E85 to power their patrol vehicles now for quite a long time. The city has 26 of these vehicles in the fleet. They're set up for flex fuel. We always run E85 whenever it's cheaper. It usually is. It's typically 25 to 30 cents cheaper per gallon. Ethanol requires less heat to burn than gasoline, and it can help the country reduce oil dependence and greenhouse emissions. For E85, ethanol gas uses corn as a primary source material for production, and as I mentioned before, it's usually 25 or 30 cents a gallon cheaper. I have a Ford Explorer, and I use it in my vehicle myself. So, Jedrzek, Police Chief, please step forward. Chief, 26 years on the Wesleyan Police. He's been our police chief for the last 8 years. He has a bachelor's degree in criminal justice and a graduate of Northwestern University School of Police Staffing Command. Chief?
Thanks, Mayor. I want to start by thanking the support of the mayor and the city council on allowing us to make these kind of purchases. As many of you know, police cars run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, and with the 26 cars we have right here, we're averaging 25 to 50,000 miles a year. So just doing this for the city of Wesleyan, it just helps keep our environment safe and clean. So I appreciate all your guys' support.
On behalf of the City of Westland's Mission Green, Chief, thank you.
Thank you.
Keep up the great work. Okay.
Let's take pictures, gentlemen.
Thank you.
All right. So our fourth and final Eco Award today is going to go to Wayne County Executive Warren Evans. County Executive was named Sheriff in 2003 and was elected to full terms in 2004 and 2008. Elected in 2014 as Wayne County's fourth County Executive, Mr. Evans has spent his time ensuring Wayne County is safe, functional, and a strong leader as the state's largest county. He was awarded the 2016 County Executive of the Year from the National Organization of Black County Officials. He was a 2018 Newsmaker of the Year from Crain's Detroit. And today we're going to be recognizing Mr. Evans for his work on connecting community green spaces. We're thanking him today for what he's doing for nature, but I also want to thank him for what he's done for our community and the other communities in Wayne County as far as safely vaccinating our residents. And from the very beginning, Wayne County has done a great job of bringing vaccinations regionally and locally to our communities, and our community thanks you for that. As I bring up the county executive, a lot of people may not know this, but the county executive is really he really enjoys nature. If he talks about the things he likes to do, they're all centered around nature. And since he's taken over as county executive, it's an incredible, noticeable difference in Wayne County parks. We've certainly partnered with the county executive and our two county commissioners, Anderson and Haddis, to bring local dollars to our local parks. But the work that the county executive has been doing on a regional level with all the county's parks, I mean, it is a visual difference when you go through our parks. They're adding amenities, they're well maintained, and what we're awarding him or recognizing here today is how he's making connections so more people in Wayne County can use the park. So, county executive. Let's see a few words.
First of all, good morning. Glad to see all of you. It's nice to have an Earth Day celebration, isn't it? An acknowledgement of the fact that, nature is a critical ingredient for all of us. We ought to appreciate it, and especially during this pandemic. The importance of parks and the importance of being able to get outside of the house to be able to do some things and still maintain your sanity. I mean, I think you all kind of feel like I do. We were hoping it'd be done in a year, and now we're wondering when will it be done? Well, we can't stay in the house forever, and so the connectivity with our parks and those things are critically important, and I'm just happy to be a part of it. I'm also very thankful to the mayor and Westland and all of the things that you're doing in terms of the ecosystem and understanding that if we keep at the rate we've been for the last 20 years, we won't be here 20 years from now. And that's just the stark reality. And people who are getting out in front of that with understanding that we've got to cut down carbon emissions and a bunch of other things, to me is critically important. As the mayor said, I'm an outdoor nut. I'm a horse nut. I'm a fishing nut. I'm a trap shooting nut. I'm nuts. And parks are a beautiful place for you to be able to just get together with nature. And it's been a big deal for me for the last 6 years throughout the county to not only improve our parks, and I appreciate your comments about that, Mayor, but also connecting parks so that people in their communities can get on a bike trail or a jogging trail and go from county parks to city parks to a number of other places. And so it should not be a situation where you have to put the bike in the car and get everybody together to get somewhere to be able to exercise and do some things. And so I'm really thankful for this award. I've got to tell you that it's a team effort in the county, and it's always been a team effort with Westland as a part of that, and that's greatly appreciated. I got 43 communities that I deal with. Whole lot of room for consternation. And anytime you get in a situation where the consternation is not there, you've got to appreciate it. at the county. Alicia Bradford, please. She is the parks director. And I mean, there's no time, but they're probably down there now pulling trees out of the Lower Huron, you know, that have been sitting there so long they almost look like, you know what I mean, they almost look like prehistoric, you know, to let the waters flow. They're always working on things for people and families. The Sheriff Washington, patrols the parks, Hines Park. It's important. As much as we love parks, there are people who homestead in the park. There are things that go on in the park that aren't something that, you know, you want families to have to deal with on a regular basis. So the policing is important. And so it really is an effort. When I talked about the horse nut part, I guarantee you there's not 100 feet of Hines Park that I haven't ridden on horseback in my 50 years with the county. And so, you know, that's important to me. I really have always enjoyed riding through Hines Park and surrounding communities on horseback. As much as people may get irritated with the police many times, they never get irritated with horses. So I found if you sit on top of them and smile, they forget about a lot of other things. And so, but no, I don't want to belabor it, but I've got to tell you that Westland's always been a friend of the council people here that I know and others. You know, it is appreciated. Richard LeBlanc, who used to be a county commissioner, I'm glad that he's here because he's doing a good job here, and glad he's not there because he used to kick me in the behind every now and then on issues. That's not true. He was always a very supportive guy. And so thank you very much for this award for Wayne County. Greatly appreciated. Good to be here and invite me back. I don't need an award to come back. Just invite me back. Downtown is not what it's made out to be. Thank you, Mayor.
Well, thank you, County Executive, and we didn't give you a word to bring you back. Those of you that know the County Executive, he does not toot his own horn. He's just not the way he operates. So I think it's important that folks like us and folks like you, that we recognize him for his efforts, because he really has done a great job. So County Executive, on behalf of the City of Wesleyan, we present you one of our Mission Green Eco Awards for the work that you're doing with the parks. Keep up the great work.
Thank you very much, and I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. Yep. Okay, so we have one last final thing to do here today. So the reason that we're here in the recycling center, and we talked about Wesleyan as a curbside recycling center for the 25,000 single-family homes. The recycling center here is utilized by the folks that don't live in a single-family home. So all of our apartment complexes, a lot of our multifamily units, and condos that don't have curbside recycling. This is where they get to recycle. And plus, with this operation here, we can take a lot of other things that we can't take at the curb. One of the new things here is we're doing glass recycling, because the curbside recycling program currently does not accept glass. So we were able to find a local glass recycler. It does not cost the city anything, so it's a great addition here. We also do things here like we take metals and we take clothes and we take automotive fluids and batteries, and that'll continue to grow. So what we're going to do here today is we're going to break ground actually on a new project, and you can see pictures of it on all sides of us here. We're going to make this a permanent recycling center in the city of Wesleyan. We received a grant through the state of Michigan, one of their Eagle grants. One of the issues we have here is the dirt. So we're going to pull everything out of here over the next couple weeks, and we're going to bring it in, and we're going to pave the place and add a lot of paving and concrete so that this will be a permanent site. We'll continue to add new ways that people can recycle here. We're working hard to try to bring electronic recycling back, and we'll look for other avenues too. But with that said, we want to ask all the elected officials to please step forward over here. The ground's a little hard, so we brought a little extra ground with us today. And we'll ask you to grab a shovel, grab a helmet. We'll try to social distance the best we can and take a picture for prosperity here.
2, 1. All Hello, Westland. My name is Megan Kirk, and I'm with WLND Media, and I am here with John Dignan, the Superintendent of Wayne Westland Schools, and then Maria Mitter, who is the Supervisor of Family and Community Engagement. Hello.
Hello, Megan.
So you were awarded today on behalf of the school district. Can you talk to me about the importance?
Yeah, absolutely. We're trying to cut back greenhouse emissions. One of the ways we're doing that is kind of changing out our bus fleet. It runs on propane now. It's a little easier on the environment. And diesel's so heavy that, again, and the President of the United States just came out yesterday talking about at the end of the decade that school buses, he was hoping that can make the conversion to electrical and propane. So hopefully our transportation director was ahead of the curve, and we appreciate all of her efforts with that.
So we know that the environment is important for all of us, but talk to me about the importance, especially for children.
It's just important because, again, they're our future. So, if we don't do something in the next 20 years, we're probably going to look at some hardships. And again, I think the younger generations can lead this direction and provide the leadership to make this conversion, to make society more green. So I'm looking forward to that.
And Maria, you're here as supporting for the program and for the buses. Can you talk to me about your role in the program?
Sure. So I'm kind of a supportive member of the team to help wherever is needed. Rhonda Lyons is our Director of Transportation, and she's really led up this initiative. She's gotten some grant awards to purchase some of the propane buses as well, and I've helped support with those applications and wherever I can be needed.
What is the future for transportation in the school district?
Well, I think we have 80 buses or something, 85 buses, and
19 were converted to this propane model. And again, you can tell which ones are propane with the bird on the side of the bus will be green. So.
And can you talk to me about the importance of propane or the switch?
Yeah, it's the emissions like diesel, it really kicks off and probably is one of the worst fuels to the environment. So to make that, it dissolves and it's not as cumbersome to the greenhouse effect. So we're grateful for that.
And Maria, what information or advice for residents, parents even, that you can give for helping them go green?
Well, you can come here to the Westland Recycling Center, and there's a lot of opportunities here to bring your household items that can be recycled. And we do some of the recycling at the school level with kids having recycling clubs and whatnot. So there's a lot of ways that folks can recycle and support the environment.
And as far as the environment in Westland and Wayne County as a whole, what do you see the future being?
Well, I see the real future being the kinds of things Westland's doing now, and the kind of things I think the county are working on in terms of parks connectivity and those sorts of things. I mean, we've got some beautiful natural resources in Wayne County. We need to exploit them in a positive way. We need to get people involved in them, and we need to make their connection to those parks easy so that they can do that, especially during this pandemic. The ability to get outdoors, even with your social distancing, is just a much safer environment, and it keeps you from going stir crazy.
And for the residents of Wayne County, what can you advise them in order to get involved on going green?
Recycle. Understand that, the environment is critically important, so, throw away your chemicals and things in the appropriate way. Westland does a very good job of having centers and different places where you can bring old batteries and things that people, tend to throw in garbage and winds up in a dump somewhere that's not doing anything for the environment, or even worse, winds up in a park or somewhere else. So pick up after yourselves. Understand the litter and things do not make our communities look any better. And we want them to be the kinds of communities that people really want to be in.